Hello YouTube, Own Soldier 86, and this is the final video that I'll talk a little bit about the Mystic Cave Zone that we have here. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was, speaking of capping this rail texture here, I did find a way to cap the rail texture that would be appropriate for this particular platform. And how I did that was I used simply this texture right on top, and I applied it to the sides. Now, if we do that out of context here, let's just go ahead and do that. Notice that the texture is facing horizontally. So if we take that texture and just dump it there, see what happened is that it made it horizontal, as you would see right here. And what we can do, Google SketchUp is fantastic. What we can do is apply a rotation to this particular texture by going to right-click, texture, position. And we get these little pins that we can use to manipulate the texture and how it will be projected onto this particular face. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this green circle to rotate that texture 90 degrees. It locks into position, which is very convenient, and click away. That's all there is to it. That looks fantastic. I really like how that turned out. So in case we did want to cap this this rail texture, we could do it, but I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So I think that's about what I had to talk about regarding 3D geometry. I wanted to talk really quickly about layout in terms of, we did talk a little bit about vertical, but we did not talk about horizontal. And when I pulled this up, I think you may have noticed that, let's go ahead and do this correctly. My level extends roughly about 400 meters or so beyond the left and the right hand side. Yeah, it's about 400 meters. And so I had to think about whether or not that barrel that moves back and forth is going to be able to be used in case the player falls off the left or the right hand side. And by looking at, I actually did some gameplay on this level, the barrel actually comes quite a bit farther out than the original level. It comes out to maybe about here. So we are in fact okay. If we go any more than 400 meters beyond the left or the right, though, we're going to be in danger of having the barrel not extend far enough that the player can use it to their advantage. So, just keep that in mind. Again, we're always keeping within the constraints of the original levels as much as possible so that it makes it easier when we deal with our stage hazards and other things. Okay, now what I want to do is we're going to move this back by 8,000. And lastly, I want to talk about playing field in terms of what I was thinking about. So I told you a little bit about the left, how it's kind of a pyramid. On the right, I wanted to have some sort of equal playing field. So we have proportions. We have the left here and the right, and they're roughly about the same proportions in terms of length and height. And we also want to divvy it up a little bit, make sure that if you're doing platforms and things, have different varying heights. And this kind of allows for characters to, jump and move around vertically as well as horizontally. The only thing I might not like about this is that there's one long piece of horizontal here that's about 1,800 meters, which in terms of, like I said, our little Smash Brothers levels can be very, very long. What I could do is I could maybe move this platform down just a little bit so that there's a little bit of extra variation. Say I move it down here. And now we have variated that up just a little bit more. In fact, I think I might like that. We might keep it just like that. We got to make sure that we're keeping things a little bit varied up and not just one simple long, vertical or horizontal playing field. That makes it more interesting, makes the level more interesting to move around in. And I like that we have, with this proportions here, we got this to this proportion and this to this proportion. And then we just have a little extra piece here for a ledge grab in case a player accidentally falls off this way. And we're being a little bit unforgiving because this wall is so long. If the player ends up down here and they're trying to recover, they might not be able to. So that can be evil. If we wanted to, we could move this particular component down a little bit, but I think we're going to keep it the way it is. I like how it's high, and it'll force the players to make sure they stay away from the right-hand side. So there's a little bit about the design element, and from here, we're going to export our level, and we'll talk about that in the next video.